The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hey, welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you the goings-on in the towns and villages around our coverage area. This week we'll be starting out with Rick Milne in the village of Honeoye Falls. Rick, how are we doing in Honeoye Falls?
Well, it's been a busy couple of days, Chris. This weather, Mother Nature continues to batter us. Whether it be with too much wet rain and then snow and ice, it has been a real problem for us. I'm sure most people know that we have had some flooding on Honeoye Creek, and this is nothing new to us. But every once in a while, when we have these big snows and then that quick thaw, we get some ice damming along Ontario Street, as well as on Creekside Drive. And we have some real issues right now. It's been a tough couple of days, but we've called the Monroe County Office of Emergency Preparedness Management. They've been very much involved. We have worked with the Office of Management Emergency Preparedness, getting sandbags as needed. We have not had to start that process yet, but we're quickly approaching that as the creek continues to rise. The ice damming has really been an issue where the ice is coming up against some of the residents' homes on Ontario Street. Luckily, most of the water is diverting across the creek, but it's been an issue. So we're working with our fire department, our DPW staff, and again, Monroe County to do the best we can to help those out as needed. But we're keeping a close eye on it and doing what we can to support. Along those other lines, I was very happy on Friday to be at Bushnell's Basin Fire Department for the signing of the official law for Monroe County for the firefighter and emergency services tax exemption program. That was signed into law for Monroe County on Friday afternoon. The village of Honeoye Falls will be talking about that at its public hearing this coming Tuesday, the 22nd, where we expect to pass our local law as well, supporting the emergency services providers. And then we also have a second public hearing. We have a second public hearing on our comprehensive plan addendum that is also expected to pass at a public hearing on the 22nd. So really, Chris, that has been the bulk of our activity, a couple of public hearings, but really the Honeoye Creek flooding is something we're continuing to look at and work on, and hopefully in the next day or so, those waters will go down and we'll be in a much better position than we are right now. So
All
with
right.
that, I appreciate your time. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Rick. Very quickly, we want to give you an update from John Moffitt, the town of Mendon supervisor, who says that Governor Hochul has proposed a state takeover of a central aspect to local residential zoning. It could greatly change your neighborhood and affect your quality of life. If approved by the state legislature, the state would require every municipality to allow at least one accessory dwelling unit on every residential lot in every neighborhood. The proposal essentially would end single-family residential zoning, the basis for neighborhood stability across the state and across the country. And for your neighborhood here in Mendon, it's the basis for the decision you made in buying your house and the promise you relied on in buying it. Single-family zoning is what assures that the house next door to yours can't be turned into an apartment house. He will expand on that, or has expanded on that, in the February 17th issue of the Sentinel. Next, Mike, the town of Lima. How are we doing there?
Well, Chris, it is a It's been some challenging plowing and all that, and I suspect that's going to continue for a few days. Livingston County Historical Society is teaming up with the Noble Shepherd Brewing Company, which is over in Ontario County, to do a virtual beer tasting and bingo event via Zoom on St. Patrick's Day. So if on St. Patrick's Day you're not feeling like going out, you could pick up a tasting kit at the Livingston County Museum, which is down in Geneseo, to bring home and enjoy a sort of educational and virtual brew tasting on St. Patrick's Day. Of course, that's March 17th, $25 pre-sale by March 12th, $30 after that. You can always contact the Livingston County Historical Society for details. The town of Lima is advertising for some part-time help, part-time cleaners for the town hall and the courthouse, part-time mowing technician to do the mowing outside our facilities and our cemeteries, and a full-time member of the highway crew. If you're interested in any of those positions, please take a look at our website and we'll be able to get you the information that you need, or call us here at the town hall, 582-1130. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has sent a property access request to the town of Lima to place traps for the European cherry fruit fly. The European cherry fruit fly is something that has invaded our country and is wrecking the cherry crops, and they're trying to get a handle on where it is and how it's migrating. So the town board, of course, will be discussing access to all of the town properties and the cemeteries and all that for the trapping of the European cherry fruit flies at our next board meeting, which will be on March 1st, along with discussing new plow truck tires and other things that will be on the agenda. Lastly, yes, indeed, we did have a fire at the brand new Dollar Tree Family Dollar store last Saturday, the 12th. The fire was in an air handling unit on the roof, no damage to the store. However, it did take a while to restore the access to customers for the store.
Oh, Mike, wait, Mike, you went mute.
There was something that happened during the whole build-out process. And that was that when the electrical team was inspected out, the covers for the panels were sitting against the wall, fully labeled to satisfy the inspection, but they were not actually the panel covers that fit the electrical panels. When the new panels arrived, they were put on the new covers, and of course the labeling wasn't exactly transferred. So no one knew which breaker was what, no one knew how to shut off the system. The electrician had to come from Syracuse, the heating guy from Buffalo, and so you can imagine how the delays kind of compounded. Our code enforcement office did insist that they ring out and label the entire building that Saturday, so now we won't have that problem anymore. But 4 of the 6 air handlers are being removed from the roof because they are defective, including the one that burned up, and they will have to be replaced. So not as big a deal during the winter, but during the summer, we would certainly want the air conditioning there. So the moral of the story, properly label your electrical panel, and you will avoid all kinds of problems. That's all I've got, Chris.
Well said. Thank you, Mike. Eileen, the village of Scottsville. What are we doing there?
Oh, well, we're trying to keep warm and busy and deal with the, either too much snow or too much water. So good afternoon, everyone. And we have just a few notes to pass along. The village board budget workshop was held this past Tuesday, and the 2022-2023 budget was finalized. I'll give more details on next year's budget at next week's Sentinel meeting. The public hearing on the budget will be held at the next board meeting on March 8th, 2022 at the municipal building. The Monroe County Association of Village Mayors was held this past Thursday evening, At the meeting, we heard from the Monroe County Recycling Advisory Committee. Michael Sowers of the Village of Scottsville has been a representative of the association for a number of years on this committee and attended the meeting to give some information on the work of the recycling committee. Michael is retiring from this position. He is the former mayor of Scottsville, as well as a member of the Scottsville Forestry Board. And so the village would like to thank Mr. Sowers for his years of dedicated work on this committee, as well as all his service to our community. The DPW has been busy the past couple of weeks, either with a lot of snow and the plowing, or the problem that happens when all that snow melts. And we've had a bunch of water, but the DPW has been doing a great job. The DPW also met with our engineering company to discuss the work to be done under a $30,000 engineering planning grant that we received from Environmental Facilities Corporation Clean Water Fund. They are planning the work they will be doing to evaluate the sewers in the village and see what repairs and replacements are needed. March 15th, 2022 is the general village election. A mayoral seat and 2 trustee seats are open. There will also be a referendum on the ballot. Shall the village of Scottsville allow retail sales of cannabis within its boundaries? Information on this referendum can be found on our website. And put this date on your calendar, and please remember to vote. Have a great week, and we'll talk with you next week.
All right. Thank you both, and thank you all for watching this week's version of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. It's live every Sunday at 1 o'clock. It airs on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. So if you're watching it there, be sure to join. If you're just picking it up, and just take a look at it. Otherwise, if you missed that, you can read about it in the following week's paper in the transcript part. All right, that's it for now. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.